Hi there, this is Erica DELSIGNORE. I'm the founder of Daily Lead Campaign, and you are watching my Great Minds, Great Marketing interview series. And today, I have an incredible opportunity. We have Raven Blair here on our interview today, and there are a lot of special things about Raven. First of all, she was a recipient of the Barack Obama 2016 Presidential Achievement Award. Not too shabby. And also, she's the inventor of hat wraps, which is the first ever patented accessory for hats, which is phenomenal. And on top of everything else, she interviews for a living, and she has won 3 awards for doing her job. And in the meantime, had a lot of fun, I'm sure, interviewing some incredible people such as Lou Gossett Jr., Sherry Shepard, formerly on The View, and Montel Williams, an award-winning talk show host. So I would love to introduce everybody to Raven today. Raven, we met at a Lisa Sasevich event a few years ago.
Oh,
and
wow.
I know you don't remember. I know. You're a superstar. You're a superstar. And I just, I introduced myself. But yeah, that's how I know you, and I just worked for Lisa and went to a couple of her events, and I always looked up to you. I loved hearing your success stories, and so yeah, that's why I wanted you on the show today.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, boy, it's been so long since I've been to Lisa's event, but yeah, and that's the thing about events, isn't it? We always meet such great people, and it's a reason for us to really get out the house. I look at it like this so that we can finally mingle with people, because I'm always behind the mic, and I bet you are too now, Erica, right?
Oh yeah, well, I work from home or I travel, and it's I'm behind a camera typically,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's definitely really really nice to be around people when you have our kind of lifestyle.
It's so
Especially great
good.
people that you can learn from. So I'm
Yeah.
super excited to have you on today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's just awesome just being here. It really is. Anytime you get a chance to come on and really talk about what you do, you know how it is. We all have such passion for what we do, don't we?
Yeah, oh, we do. And
Mhm.
what I love about where you and I met was that you really learn how to tell your story and connect with people in order to help them. And I really think that's one of the special gifts that Lisa gives. And
Mhm.
so today, one of the first questions I'm going to ask you is to share your story, because I know that you didn't start off out there rich and famous.
Yeah.
You had to start at the bottom and struggle like a lot of people. And I can't wait to hear your story and share it with the audience today.
Oh yeah, I would love to share my story. And you're absolutely right. Stories makes a difference. I always say people are inspired not by what you have or what you got, but they're inspired by, how you got from where you are, using Lisa's famous words now, to where
Yeah.
you ultimately want to be, and what led to that. And here's one thing that I found out along my journey, and then I'm going to get into my story, that if your why is not strong enough, Erica, you know this, you'll be
Mhm.
stuck for a while in a rut, I like to say, because you're always figuring out, well, what makes me tick? What's my purpose? And until we really understand that, I just don't think our success comes quick enough, and that's why, the mentors and masters that we invest in, like Lisa, it's so important, because Les Brown has this saying, I know you've heard it, that you can't see the picture for being in the frame. And most of us are so in the frame that we can't see what we're really meant to do. And so what
That's
I
amazing.
and
I have
so
never heard that, but I love that.
oh yeah, I heard it from Les Brown, and I just found it to be true, especially in my situation, because my story began in the ICU unit of a hospital. I was waiting, for my mom to get well. She had so many different surgeries she needed to have, and they thought she was going to be in there for a week, and she ended up actually being in there for 3 weeks, just in the ICU unit
Oh,
alone. Oh my God. It was the scariest thing. I mean, mother was a matriarch of our family. We didn't know if she was going to make it or not, and it was pretty scary. And so I was taking a course from Alex Mendozian called Teleseminar Secrets. Do you remember that? It was like the course back in the day. I want to say it was February 6th of 2006. And so Alex said these things. He said, the quickest way to become an expert is to interview experts. Have you ever heard that, Erica?
I have heard that, and that's why I started doing this in January. It's something I always wanted to do, and you know, I've seen people like yourself, you know, really take it to your business to a new level by doing that. So it's
Oh my God, I did. I was 55 years old making $10 an hour, and I want the listeners to hear this, making $10 an hour working 20 hours a week. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that I was broke. And so when I watched my mom lay in the hospital, my thought was, okay, what if she doesn't make it? You know, wow. You know, have you really done the things you wanted to do with her? You know, you never took a trip with her, you know, as an adult. You never paid for her to go on a cruise. And I started really feeling, oh my God, bad. And I was in the chapel, and I heard God say to me that she's going to be okay, but she's going to be different. And you're going to need to step up, show up, and grow up. Step up, do something really big, show up in a huge way, and grow up and take responsibility as to why at the age of 55, and your parents had a chain of restaurants in Ohio, they sent you to the best schools, and you are making $10 an hour. So it's nobody's fault but yours, because you have everything that you need. So you're going to have to figure this out, because she's going to be okay, but she's going to be different, and she's going to need you like she never needed before. So I right then just started listening to what Alex said, and I said, you know what, I can do that. I can ask questions. I can go out there and find people to interview. And so I just drafted my show, created Women Power right from the hospital. That was February 6, 2006. The show launched on April 23rd. So it just took me just those few weeks to get it together. I did my first show on a conference call line. It's called Women Power. If you go to womenpower-radio.com, that's the very first show. And we ended up interviewing a friend of my sister's, and then I would ask her, who do you know? And then I would ask them, who do you know? And then I ended up interviewing Montel Williams, Sherry Shepard, Jane Kennedy, Lisa Nichols, all the people in The Secret, and the list went on and on. These people behind me, this goes all the way down and all the way out. These aren't pictures that I just took of. These are people that I've actually interviewed, from Russell Simmons to Chili to Les Brown to Sinbad to Rosie Perez, all that, right from my kitchen.
Right from your kitchen table. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. So that's really, like, I had a question here about how you started interviewing and where your passion came from. Have you told us everything that you wanted to about that?
About what? Why I started it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I did. I mean, the only thing I feel like I'm missing is this dream of being on the radio started at the age of 13. We used to have a station by my mom's restaurant called WJMO, and I used to sneak there. And I would get on there, you know, and they would have junior DJ, and I'd be like, hey, I'm Raven Blair, and I'm on the air. And I remember one time my mother was in the front of the restaurant, and one of her customers said, isn't that your daughter? And my mother said, what? That's on the air right now. And I got a whipping, because back then it was okay to get whippings. My mother came down to the station and whipped my butt home. So, yeah. So here's a funny part of the story. Mother ended up being in the hospital for 6 months, Erica. And so I had started interviewing then, and she wasn't well enough for me to share this. So when she finally came to and was getting strong, I interviewed Les Brown, and I thought I would take it, and it was on a CD. Yes, CDs back then. And I took the boom box. Yes, boom box back then. This is all just 2006.
I had one.
And I played it while my mother was laying there. And I said, Mom, so what do you think? And she said, didn't I whip your butt from being at the station a long time ago? You still going there? That's when I knew she had gotten better.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Unfortunately, Mom's gone now, but not without her being in my very first book, Broadcast Your Passion. Well, people know her all over the world, because this is my story. Yeah. We even have the Emily Awards we do once a year now, where we give our radio host an award called the Emily Awards, named after my mom. And so it's been a pretty humongous journey, amazing journey. You mentioned, being given the Lifetime Achievement Award by Barack Obama. And that's just one of the many awards that I have been able to receive. There it is. I have been pen. I also have a presidential pen right here that I'm very proud of,
Aw, I love
And
it.
there's his signature. I got it right before he left office. And one of my listeners nominated me for it. They just happened to work for someone that was an ambassador for the president, and they
Hmm.
give awards all over. And she said, how does someone nominate? And she said, I know this lady that and she shared my story, where I came from, and I got an email from them. They wanted a long 3-page background of me, and I got the award just a few months ago.
Oh my gosh. Wow, congratulations. That is incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So why interview experts anyway? Like what's the big deal about it?
Well, it's interesting that you're asking me that specific question. Let me tell you why, because I did a Facebook Live right here on this page. You guys can scroll down and look at it. And it says 7 reasons why you should be interviewing a celebrity or expert in your niche. I just did that this morning, a few minutes
Oh,
ago at 9
good.
o'clock.
Perfect
Yeah,
timing.
Great Minds. What's the name of your show? Great Minds Think Alike.
Marketing. That's right.
Proof positive, guys, that great minds think alike. And so let me give you the ones that we talked about today. Number one, it builds credibility for you. Yeah. So if you were like me, or dealing like what I was dealing with years ago, and you would do these strategy sessions over and over again, and you would try to sell something to someone, everyone tuning in, think about this. It's because you don't have credibility out there. And so what's the first painful thing they say to you? Oh, let me think about it. Let me go visit your website. Do you have any clients I can talk to? I never ever get that question now. Never get that question now. So one thing it does for sure is it builds your credibility, and it builds it fast. Because when you're interviewing the Les Browns, when you're interviewing, I got Brendan Bouchard behind me, Lisa Sastovich, Lisa Nichols, Chili, I could go on and on. When you interview those people, you're borrowing, this is tip number 2, the reason you're borrowing their credibility from them. You're borrowing their success. And so you become a thought leader, an influencer, even a celebrity, so to speak, because you're interviewing different people, like
Mhm.
you with Matt. Didn't you interview Matt? I can't think of Matt's last name.
Yeah,
Oh,
Matt. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And that's somebody I always have wanted to interview, never reached out to. I just got such a
Ah,
long list. Yeah, and the first thing I did, because I didn't remember you, is go check out and see who you interviewed. See? So
there you
because of that, I'm like, okay, this is someone I've always wanted to interview and never had a conversation with. Okay, so
Wow.
that's 2. The other thing is it makes you like Alex Mendosian was 100% right. The quickest way to become an expert is to interview experts. You get there faster rather than slower, sooner rather than later. Is that cool or what? Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's such an honor too. I mean, to really share information with the greats. I've been very lucky to interview a lot of multimillionaire entrepreneurs, and their insights are invaluable.
That's I'm glad you brought that up, because that great minds think alike again. You're
Mhm.
absolutely right. I always tell people there's no way you can have conversations with, the Les Browns and the Brian Tracys and the Russell Simmons and, all the people that you and I talk to, and a piece of it doesn't rub off on you. You remember, I was 55 years old making $10 an hour, working 20 hours a week. The more I interviewed these greats, the more I became Raven, the talk show maven, because I started out as Raven Blair. I wasn't even Glover then. I was married to some other jerk. That's another show. Raven Blair Davis. Bring me back for that one. I'm glad to be there. But Raven Blair Davis at the time. Now I'm married to I'm a Glover, and that's my lover, and he's so awesome and handsome. Worked with Michael Jackson, Prince, all that stuff. But anyway, back then nobody knew who I was. Once I started interviewing these people, people got to know me from them. And so a piece of what I learned from them rubbed off on me. And it helped me build a business. It helped me think bigger, dream bigger, because I interviewed almost everybody in The Secret. And it just opened up opportunities. All of a sudden, this closed world I was in expand it. This closed mind, because guys, you know it starts with the mind. It helped me make that mindset shift. You know what I'm talking about, Erica, right? The
Oh,
mindset
yeah,
that
it's
we all
amazing.
have to. Yes. And another reason, seven reasons you'll attract customers that are willing to invest. Because when they see Erica interview Matt, or they see me interview Jack, or you see anyone interviewing these icons, then they're like, oh, because Jack and Matt are trained, whether they talk to us ever again, they are trained to give you the best interview. They are trained to mention your name in the interview. They are trained to connect with you. And so you, me, us, as the listener are saying, oh, she know Jack. Oh, Jack called her name. Oh, Jack said this. Jack said that. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So all of a sudden, where they wasn't able to pull out their wallet, where my money? I can't find my money, but I usually keep my money. They
I
start
can't find
pulling
it fast
out their
enough.
wallet. Here you go, $1 million Snapchat that baby. Yeah, so they start pulling out their money and they're ready to invest. They'll go book your on your calendar. They'll follow you and stuff like that. So that's one, and that's how you. The next tip is you turn listeners into buyers, because they see you interviewing them, your credibility is established. They see you and Jack laughing it up, or you and Matt doing your thing. And then the other thing is the fastest way to create content. Yes, you can take your interviews like I do, and you can put them in a book. This is our 5th edition of the Careers from the Kitchen Table. We do one every year at the end of the year. I always put the heroes and sheroes on the covers because they don't know us, but they know them. And then I open it up for people to invest in having their story along in here too. And we've been doing that since the beginning. That's actually the first way I figured out how to get paid. And the other thing is you jointly are creating a legacy by collaborating with the people that you see behind me and the people Erica have interviewed. You're actually collaborating with them, jointly collaborating in creating world-class content. Their interview is your world-class content. And by you just asking for the interview and you're doing it together because you do your part as a host, then that's how it works. How about that? Was those enough good reasons?
Oh, there were lots of good reasons. And I can already tell I wish that I scheduled a 2-hour interview with you. I know we had a little bit of technical difficulty in the beginning
Yeah,
here, but
I'll make it short. I'll keep it brief from now. And that's another thing. And talk show hosts, hard to zip us up. Just tell me, girl. Just say, shut up.
hey, you've been asking the questions this whole time. You're waiting to like be able to say something. All right. So let me see here, because I want to make sure we get the most, the best questions. Let's talk about, and I know there are going to be some people out there that think they can't do it because they're shy or they're an introvert.
Mm.
What would you say about that? What would you say to those people?
I would say don't second doubt. Just ask. Just ask for the interview, because if you don't ask, you will not get. And this is what I tell my clients all the time. And at the end, I'm going to invite you guys, give you an opportunity where you will be able to, jump in. And I'm going to do a special pricing for you guys because of Erica. But anyway, so here's what I know for sure. If I had never asked for that one, I would never have gotten that one and all the others. So you do have to ask. Now, with that being said, there is something called languaging. So it's a certain way, as you know, Erica, that you got to frame it and language it and position yourself to where you're more likely to get a yes than no. I have this formula called the Icon Interview Formula. And what it does, there's on the screen, I teach people how to investigate first. And so that when you connect with them, the person on the other end, the gatekeeper, the manager, whoever you talk to, or even the guest itself, there'll be an instant rapport and an instant connection. But it all starts with the investigating. We go deep on what you need to do for that. O is own. Own it. Own your platform. Own your message. Own who your audience is. You got to stand in your power and talk it up. Okay, I never say, well, I got a podcast or I got this live stream. You got to talk it up because they're going to perceive it the way you give it out, okay? And the other thing is you got to get to the point. They don't have a lot of time. They don't want to hear about the story at the hospital, any of that. They don't care, okay? So it's all about what's in it for them. And I teach something called the irresistible ask, which goes right along with asking, but this is the irresistible ask because we want you to ask, but we want to you to ask in a way where you're more likely to get yes than a no. And
Right.
I don't know if you could put this in a notes chat if you don't mind, but for you guys listening, if you go to Talk Show Maven, Maven, talkshowmaven.com / go, talkshowmaven.com / go, you know, basically you will be able to join. There's a $97 and I was actually just offering this to my students when I go on Facebook Live, but I just finished it and I'm on your show, so I'm going to give them the same price because normally I charge $5.97 for this. So you go there, we set this page up especially for my Facebook students on Talk Showpreneur channel, but you can get it for the same price at $97. There's also a two-pay for $67 each. So go get it. The class starts next Friday, the 7th. And you're going to learn the icon interview form. You're going to learn the irresistible ask. And you're going to get my free interview toolkit that's going to give you the scripting, that's going to give you a script on how to get sponsors. It's going to give you your top 20 questions. And it's great for starters. They will help you build your list of people you want to interview. That's free, so for the top 10 people. So go get it now. I will know if you came in from Erica. So let me see, how can we know if you come in? What I want you to do, because only the top 10 people are getting the ultimate toolkit, send me an email at talkshowmaven@gmail.com and just say you heard it on Erica's show, and we'll make sure that we will make you, even if we're at 10 people, we'll make sure you get the ultimate toolkit too, which will be given to everybody at the class at the end, the top 10 people, but we'll extend that for your people. Okay.
I will. I'll edit
the nuggets in here for sure.
Yeah, I'll edit the Facebook post right after we finish this,
Yeah,
so that
good. Absolutely.
that website that link is in there. I think we were talking about this before, but we're just sending them to your Facebook page right now. So it's great when you're giving stuff away like that. So that's phenomenal. I really appreciate that on everyone's behalf. There is another burning question though I want to make sure that we get answered, and that is, how do you make money from doing this? I mean, how many interviews are you doing? And you said you have like 5 different shows, and then how are you making money from doing this?
Okay, well, number one, I've always charged for my interviews, unless they are a type icon or a celebrity. I learned early on because I got really good at interviewing, but then it went back to the why. Well, wait a minute. You're interviewing and you're getting these great people and you're not making any money. Alex Mendozian brought that to my attention, and I didn't know him. I just emailed him and told him about all the people that I'd interviewed, barring his statement that the quickest way to become an expert is an interview expert. He sent me an email and said, that's great, Raven, but how are you making your money? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be making money. How am I going to help mom if I don't make any money? I got lost into the interviews, which is what most of us live streamer, podcast hosts, and radio hosts do. We get so busy with the interviews, we forget at the end of the week we ain't got no money. And so what I did is I wrote a script, because I come from 25 years of cold calling, and I started selling opportunities to be on my show. And at first I sold them for $50, $100, whatever I could get. And then I ended up, when I went to CNN, I ended up selling it for $997. Now I sell 5 minutes for $447, 10 minutes for $597, 15 minutes for $997. And if they come on before Les Brown or after Sinbad, then they may be paying $1,000 or $2,000 because they can do a lot of mileage with that interview. Yeah. So, and that's what I teach my students, not in this master class, because this is strictly to get you to get the interviews first, because that's step one. So some of the ways that I make money is, I already told you, let's start with this, because this is where I made my first, I think it was, over $50,000, because what I did was I got the top experts. You can do this too, Erica. I put them on the cover, And then I sent an email to my list, which was very small then. I mean, I don't even think I had 100 people on my list. And I said, look, I did the cover. Here's the cover. Here's the people that's going to be on it. And I'm opening it up for the first 10 people, because at that time I just wanted 10 people to say yes. You get in for $597, you know. And so I got the 10, and then I got people that emailed me afterwards, and before you know it, we had like 30, and I said, okay, well, I'm just going to take it up to 55. So we feature 55 different stories in each one, and they're paying $597. So whatever that adds up to be. So that's one reason. The other thing is I created a book called Talk Show Magic. This is like my third or fourth book. This is just me delivering content. So I go back, I listen to my shows, and I decide what the topic's going to be. Then I go back and have my engineer or assistant pull out interviews to match this. We have it transcribed into a book. And of course, at the end of the book, I always lead them to my calendar to book a session with me so they can learn how. I've taken different topics and turned them into courses. And so those are some simple ways right there. I mean, I actually have about 100 different ways that I teach, but we'll start with those.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, those are some great ways to do it. And charging for the interview. Go figure. I don't charge right now, but I do use these interviews to get a lot of traffic later on. So it's it works out. You can do it a few ways, but I like your version.
Most people do, but if they really just feel uncomfortable about it, you have to really get there. I will tell you, it's harder to do now than it was back then, because now everybody has live streaming and so many different ways. They're like, well, I can get out there on my own. And so this is why it's a good time for you to really build your name up. I don't have that hard of a problem because of the people I interview, so I am known as a master interviewer, and so people are willing to invest just to have me interview them and have that on their thing. So that's why it's another reason. Remember, you're building credibility. They're respecting you and recognizing you as an authority in what you do, for sure.
So what are the 3 biggest tips you want to pass on to our listeners today on how they can get the people of their dreams on their interview list?
I definitely will start out by saying, make your list
Mm-hmm.
of who you want to interview. I started off creating a vision board, and I put all the pictures on the vision board, many of them that are here. And then the next step was I picked up the phone. I choose to pick up the phone. I have my gift is in my voice. And that's where I figured out how to do the investigating, the connecting, owning, and all that. So you have to start here, guys. It's all about the investigating. Do your homework. Most people will go out there and they will ask for the interview they will investigate after they get the interview. I teach my clients how to investigate. And I have a secret spying way that I do that you guys get to actually see me. So make sure you go to talkshowmaven.com/go, because I'm going to be actually screen sharing and showing you where I go. And a lot of people are like, well, how do you get the numbers and I'm going to show you that. This is only a 90-minute masterclass. It's a portion that I'm teaching from my 6-figure interview secrets course. But this portion will get you on track. And don't forget, you guys, even if we hit our number 10, as long as you email me at talkshowmaven.com, talkshowmaven, at gmail.com, then I will make and say that you heard me on Erica's show, no matter where you've seen it, but where you heard me on Erica's show, and I'll make sure even if we're at the 10th person, you get this ultimate toolkit that's going to have all my scripting questions and everything in it. So that would be the thing that I would say, make your list first. And then, pick up the receiver, or if your gift is in email, and ask them. I'm going to throw in the other tip I would say for sure, guys, is to, I guess I did, investigate ahead of time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's, and overall, I want to invite you to think big and dream bigger. These people that you see behind me, when I was at that hospital, 55 years old, making $10 an hour, I never thought I'd have conversations with them. And some of these people have been on my show over and over again. I'm really gifted at making sure when they're on that I wow them and wow the audience. And we'll talk a little bit about that in the master class. And they come back and they give me tons of referrals. And so I'm saying all this to say they don't have to know who you are. You can have 5 people. I think when I did the first celebrity, Jane Kennedy, I didn't even have 10 people showing up. She never asked me how many people I had. I never get that question. And that's all part of the irresistible ask that, you know, I invite you to come in here on the program, master class. Erica, jump in the master class. I'll give you a special deal, girl. But anyway, but think big and dream bigger, because, you know, Erica, we stunt our limitations because we don't think big enough, right?
No, that's absolutely true. I mean, everybody's got a dream, right? But it's whether you believe that you can do it or not. That's really going to make the difference and make sure that you get there.
Absolutely. Like, and I'm just going to give you guys a quick example, and then I'm going to shut up on this. Has nothing to do with interviewing, but you did mention that I had a hat wrap patent. Okay, so here's
Very cool. Yes.
Yeah, here's a picture of all the hats that I used to carry in my purse. And Erica, you know, when you see me out, I got my fedora on for sure. So this is what I used to carry. And whenever I speak, I had to tote all these hats because I pick my hats and then I decide what I'm going to wear. Okay, so then it went from that to, you know, my favorite hat right there with the band coming off, or my hats being dirty, and me and my husband would always have to buy some different ones because I like bling. Well, there's that old hat, and here's it with my hat wrap. Is that cool or what?
So cool.
Here is our hat wrap. Now I only carry 1 or 2 hats. I wear one on my head. I take 1 or 2 with me, usually just 1 extra, and these are the different hat wraps that will fit it, you know. So that's an idea of thinking big, dreaming bigger. I never went out to do a patent or any of that. But then once people started saying, whoa, I like it, we started a collection. Now we have over 30-something hat wraps. We're talking to Home Shopping Network, and it's already patent. It was pending patent then. It's patent now. There's nothing else ever been on the market. And that's thinking big and dreaming bigger. And, guys, so now it doesn't matter if my hat is whatever it is. I can, you know, I can cover it up just like this. See? This is dirty white hat. I don't have to do that. And we even have them reversible. This is the reversible side of it. If I want to jazz it up, we have the hat wrap bands to go with it. I never did this on camera. There you go. So anyway, it doesn't look right. But anyway, you guys got the drift of it. Okay. So I'm going to stop because I'm going to be going crazy with it now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so now I just carry this little zipper bag with about 10 wraps in it, and a couple hat wrap band, and wear 1 hat and take the other. So the whole thing, again, is thinking big and dreaming bigger. Stop, you know, limiting what you really have. You know, we don't know the real gifts we have until we unleash them and just let it go and let it flow. And that's why listening to shows like Erica, listening to shows like mine and other people, listening to these masters, these greats, and their interviews, you know, that's how I was able to do this. I really, really believe that, Erica, because years ago my mind was closed. I would have never even thought out the box or stretched or anything, and definitely wouldn't have been an action taker. It would have been more of a procrastinator. You know, how many times have you guys seen something on TV and then you say, wow, I thought about that years ago. I bet that's happened to you, Erica. That's happened to me several times. It's like, damn, I thought about that back in such and such. But you snooze, you lose.
That's right. That's right. There are people willing to go out there and get it done.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. We are just coming up to 3 o'clock. Okay. I'm going to give you a chance to just give us that website one more time for your free offer.
Yeah.
And or not your free offer, it's $97 offer.
It's $97 or to pay at $67. But you guys are going to get, as long as you send me an email, write this email down, talkshowmaven@gmail.com. If you're listening to Erica's show, and you must put in here, I heard Erica's show, ERICA, that's the magic word. Even though earlier for my people I said that you had to get 10 the first 10 people would be the only ones that would get the toolkit, which has all my scripts and all that stuff and questions and everything as a bonus. You guys will get it even if we got 10 people. So make sure you put her name. And you'll also get this mailed to you, which is an icon interview infographic, so you can have it hung up. And come on and learn from me exactly how I spy on these people, get the information, and how I ask so that they will say yes to it. And you know, how to make this happen faster rather than slower for you. And we'll even show you at the end a bonus on how to get stellar testimonials from it.
That's fantastic. Well, a good testimonial is priceless. So, yeah, thanks again, Raven, for being on the show. We have certainly learned so much from you today, and you know, really, your story, starting at 55, it just goes to show you're never too old or too young to really start working on your dreams. And just draw the line today and start out new and go for it.
Just go
so
for it.
that's all it is. So, yeah, really wonderful to see you again. And yeah, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah.
And I want to thank the listeners and the viewers for watching Great Minds, Great Marketing. You will see us next week with Shelly Mitchell, and you know, she works with women's entrepreneurs. So you know, really excited. I'm getting a lot of women on the show lately. So girl power.
Yeah, I know. Yay for Erica.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you again, and I'll look forward to talking to you again soon. And thanks to everyone else too. We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.